Hello, Lola here. Today I'm gonna show you why attaching stuff with bond sockets is a good thing and how to do it properly so you don't get weird location, rotation, or scale displacement. First of all, what do I mean by attaching stuff to bond sockets? Basically, a bond socket is a bone. And when you attach something to a bone socket, that means you directly attached the thing to the bone. So if your bone is animated, in which case my camera is rotating, whatever is attached to it will rotate as well, according to the animation. On my camera blueprint, I have simply bound to event begin play and attached component to component with my zone static mesh being attached to the skeletal mesh of the camera to the bone named camera. You can see I made this little camera and I made a little red zone that's supposed to indicate the camera field of view. And even though it's not rotated properly, you can see it follows my animation. And now we will see why it's not oriented properly. As you can see, my bone named camera is looking forward. But for Unreal Engine, technically this bone is looking down for a simple reason. In Unreal Engine, the front axis is the x-axis. So your bone x-axis should be facing toward the scene global x-axis. As you can see in Blender, if I display the axis of bones in my armature, we can see the x-axis of the bone is facing down, which is the direction my zone was looking at. So assuming you have some white paint on your bone and you don't want to rotate it, you can create a separate bone and rotate it the proper way. It should be facing the correct way, but just in case, make sure the roll is set to 0. I will rename it socket, but you can name it whatever you like. And attach it to the camera bone so it follows the camera bone movement. So as you can see, the bone is following the camera bone and stays oriented the right way. Now all you need to do is export the new skeletal mesh. Reimport it in Unreal Engine. In case you get a warning saying, hey, watch out, the bone hierarchy has changed. Usually you can ignore it, but it may break some animations. As you can see, my animation is broken. My camera is facing sideways. To fix it, simply go back to Blender, re-export your animations with the new skeletal mesh, and re-import them into Unreal Engine. As you can see, the animation is fixed. Now, in your blueprint, simply attach your component to the correct bond name, which in our case is socket. Make sure your location, rotation, and scale rules are set correctly. The correct setting may vary based on your use. And now, as you can see, it's working. Now let's see why it could be useful. So I made this ship, and as you can see, it's a skeletal mesh, which means it has no collisions. However, if I play and get on top of my ship, you can see I can stand on it. And the way I made it is by attaching collision meshes to bones. As you can see on the mast, for example, I have the mast bone, which I use to animate and rotate, and I have the socket bone, which I attach the collision mesh to. Note that the things you want to be attached to the bone should have their root at the origin of the world. So as you can see, my mast is not up there, it's at the 000 origin. Otherwise, it will be displaced in Unreal. Another use, other than being able to collide with skeletal meshes, could be to make moving platforms based on the skeletal mesh animation. As you can see, I forgot to set the zone collision to no collision, so I can stand on top of it. If you are interested in getting the camera model I made for free, you can simply check the Discord server in the description and I will make a channel for my free assets. I hope you found this video useful and I see you later!